This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's also talk about, before we talk about the event itself, I do want to talk about your confidence level on the heels of this poor rating, because you look back at 2 years, you look back at WrestleMania 5, and my God, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man set every pay-per-view record. It was unbelievable. And then you follow up and you think this is going to be the next big thing. Hogan's going to pass the torch to the Ultimate Warrior. You go babyface versus babyface. It's in a dome. It's a huge event at the Sky Dome, sort of their big kickoff. It feels like a major show, especially to me as a kid. It's still my favorite WrestleMania. But then the pay-per-view buys, they're just not really there. So, hey, maybe the solution is we don't need baby faces versus baby faces. We need a heel. Vince would say WrestleMania is still going to do, I said Vince, Dave writes, WrestleMania is still going to do big business. It may even do better on pay-per-view than last year. The price charged is the same, and they do have a heel this year, which is probably the main factor in last year's pay-per-view disappointment. But the profit ratio on pay-per-view is much lower than that from the live gate. And if the ratings lead to a weakening of Titan's position with NBC over the long haul, it wasn't worth it. Did you feel like, all right, we're going to be, I don't even know, I guess I should ask, at this point, did you know, hey, we're going to be moving the show from the Collesium to the arena?
By this point, so this is
early February.
Rumble.
Yeah. March 24th is the show date.
Yeah, but going into Rumble, we were still in the stadium.
Yes.
And I don't think that we made that decision till probably this week or shortly the week after. And it had nothing to do with ratings. It had to do with poor ticket sales, but more than anything, it had to do with
security.
Looking at the government and security wise, and having this giant open air stadium that was damn near impossible to secure to the standards that you would have needed to secure a major event like that. If we were to draw 100,000 people, which was what we were hoping for, we couldn't have secured it. We couldn't have secured it on our own. And at the time, government agreed they didn't want to secure the Super Bowl, for fuck's sake. They did. They ended up doing it. But it's just, it was an ungodly number and an ungodly task, because you had to build, secure fencing completely around the perimeter. You had to have helicopters. You had to have just everything under the sun. That was just not a feat that we could pull off on our own.
It's worth mentioning the Super Bowl aired just a few days before this main event would. And of course, everybody remembers the Giants and the Bills, but I think what everyone remembers even more is Whitney Houston singing the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, it's still probably the gold standard for that sort of thing. And that's just a few days before this. So it gives you an idea of the patriotism that was sort of in the air. The business here is actually doing pretty good on the house show circuit. It's usually dominated by Hulk Hogan Earthquake stretcher matches, and it's working. 11,000 in Calgary, 10,000 in Pittsburgh, 14,000 in the Nassau Coliseum. In this era, are you thinking about, or are you actually beefing up security because of this Sergeant Slaughter thing, or when does that become a real concern?
Sarge had security really from the beginning of the gimmick, and it was a very touchy and controversial gimmick, and people that would take it a little more seriously than what it was designed for, entertainment. Sarge had some extra security for sure.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.